So many parents I talk to want to go the natural route for health for their kiddos. And nothing could be more true than when it comes to wanting to find natural health options for ear infections. Every single week, I talk to parents whose kids get prescribed antibiotics or ear tube surgeries, and those parents are just looking for an alternative. They're looking for another option, especially when those ear infections become chronic, their kids are constantly clogged with fluid they can't drain, and it's really becoming an infection that happens on autopilot every single month. Now, here's the awesome thing. Those alternatives absolutely do exist. The hard part about it is that you don't hear about it from the common places, which is why I wanted to make this video today to really go through some of those alternative options that are safe, they're proven, they're effective for really helping your kids with those ear infections and really getting to the root cause of what's bringing those ear infections in the first place, and not just helping them get through them when they're acute, going through that ear infection, but really finding a way to help it long term so that they don't keep coming back. So this is for you if your kiddos are in a lot of pain from ear infections, or they're constantly struggling with congestion or clogged sinuses. That's what we're going to dive into today. Now, the root cause of ear infections really comes down to something as simple as plumbing, our body's plumbing system. When we get fluid up here in the sinuses, we should be able to drain that out. It should be going down through the ears, through the nose, through the throat for the body to be able to get that out. See, so often we get congested when we're exposed to a germ or a bacteria and fluid builds up right in here. And if the fluid stays there for a really long time, then that bacteria, germ, or virus is going to replicate and it's just going to get bigger and grow. Now, if we can't move stuff down and out of the body, just like a plumbing system, the drain is going to get clogged, and that's when we're going to get the extra pressure buildup in the ears, the pain, discomfort, and oftentimes that's going to turn into an infection, and then you get the fever after that, and it's just a tough road to go down. Now, the solution is to look at remedies that help the body drain, because if it's a plumbing issue, we've got to look at that. How do we help drainage first? Because that really is the root cause. When we have fluid sitting here in those warm areas, it's gonna pick up bacteria and viruses and turn into infections. When we look at these remedies, the first one we look at, and I'm a pediatric chiropractor, so that's why we're gonna talk about this, is neurologically focused chiropractic care. In just a minute here, we're gonna look at the scans of this sweet little guy, T-Bone, who was just really struggling with chronic ear infections. He was always congested, always sick. He almost never didn't have an ear infection. And so when we started working with his nervous system, especially in this upper neck area between C1 and C5, it really helped his body be able to drain and get that fluid out, and then his nervous system and immune system could take over and kick those ear infections out. So chiropractic care is key to the drainage and signaling side of it for those ear infections. Everything else, all the other natural remedies, they work under the same premise. If we can help the body to drain, that is going to be the best case scenario for our kiddos. That's why something else that you can look into doing is a warm compress. So when I say warm compress, I mean getting a wet towel that's not too hot. Take that and lay that on the side of their ear and have your kiddo lay on their side for 5 to 10 minutes. And then just that heat is going to help loosen up that fluid. Then you'll have them flip over, and them flipping over is going to help that drain a bit. Kind of the extra credit with this is to get something called ear clear oil, or they're called naturopathic ear drops. But they have garlic, mullein, arnica, all sorts of different things in there that basically are antimicrobial, antibacterial, and essentially they're natural antibiotics, if you will. So we put a couple drops in the ear and then let that get down there and then allow it to drain out right after. So here's the key with this though. Do not use those drops if your kiddo already has a perforation in their eardrum or they have really chronic bouts of ear infections without talking to your doctor. But that can really be the key, helping with the drainage, that warm compress and the right oils in there to help loosen things and get them out. The other thing we see is vitamin D and rest is huge, helping kiddos with their sleeping positions, laying on the side that needs to drain, really helps release that pressure and get things out. And this is really why pediatric chiropractic is such a game changer. If we can help that nervous system get things moving, everything else is golden. The body can really take over and get things moving from there. So to show you this, I really want to look at a real case here. The case of Tivone, who found us because he was constantly getting ear infections every single month. He was congested, it was turning into an infection, and then a fever, and then a cough, and just a major immune struggle. And mom and dad said that he was honestly more sick than he was healthy because he was struggling so much with it. So I want to show you this as we switch screens here. This was Tivone's initial test. These are called insight scans, and we run these tests on every single new patient, but these are especially powerful on kiddos who are dealing with immune challenges, especially plumbing and drainage issues. You can see this was his initial scan and this was his progress scan. And so these scans are what we call thermal scans, and they really show us where the stress is built up within the nervous system. And on our exam, that same region where you're seeing all this red on Tivone scans up here up top, during our exam, we also found that he had a lot of neuromuscular tension built up in that exact same area, here in this area. And those are designed to help keep fluid moving down through the neck, down through the lymphatic system, and down and out through the whole body. So in Tivone's initial scans, you see a lot of overall red, and red means chronic stress, chronic tension. And we're really looking very closely up top here because that's where all the drainage through the eustachian tube goes down the lymph, down the neck, down through the rest of the body to get that out. And so all of this tension up top here was really holding that all in for Tivone and preventing the fluid from draining from his sinuses, and that's why he was congested all the time. Then if you look at his progress exam in that neck area, that C1 to C5 region, there's a lot less red. That pattern has changed and there's less tension, less tightness, and so it really wasn't surprising that around that same time that we were seeing these changes on the scans, his parents were saying he's draining like crazy. He was coming in the office and we were needing to get him a tissue every single time. He was really just getting all of that congestion down and out. His body was really moving it through. And the result of there being less fluid stuck in there meant less pressure in the ears, less pain, less discomfort. His body was actually able to move things through. And so when he was exposed to a germ or a bacteria, it wasn't taking hold. He was able to get through it and it wasn't turning into an ear infection. So that's why I love looking at Tivone's scans, so we can see that neurological change, because that really was the root cause of it. A lot of the natural remedies help, but they don't fully correct the root cause. We have to get in there and say, hey, how do we help this body move better so that it can drain better? And that really helps kids not just get through ear infections in the moment, but help them get through them long term. So if your child is struggling with this, if you've tried the remedies, or maybe you've tried the normal route and not the alternatives that we've talked about, and nothing has seemed to work, chiropractic care can really be a game changer for your kiddo. The technology we use allows us to measure the stress, see where it's at, quantify it so that we can then help the body relieve the stress, relieve the tension, help the body drain, and really let the immune system do what it needs to do. Now, I know this is probably new to you, so what I've got attached to this is an article that's really going to dive deep into those ear infection remedies. It's going to walk you through all the different things that we talked about and talk about in depth how they go hand in hand with natural chiropractic care so that we can help get you and your kiddo on the other side of those ear infections. I'd love it if you share this video. I know there's so many moms up late at night looking for the answers to ear infections, so it'd be really awesome if you could share this with them. And if you have any questions that we can answer for you, please leave a comment below or send us a message. We'd love to help you and your family get to the bottom of these ear infections and other immune challenges. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.